Good morning, good afternoon, Facebook family, friends, personal friends, not just Facebook friends, online, offline. Looks like I'm connected to both Facebook and YouTube. So if you're joining me, let me know in the comments you're here. Say hello. Tell me how you're doing today. Will says Gar. Didn't you close out yesterday with Gar? Are you a pirate? Is that what a pirate says? I don't even know. Can you hear me okay? So today, how are you doing today, everybody? Anybody that's here, say hello. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know you can hear me and see me okay. And thanks, Will. And well, yes, so today is much better for me. Thanks for bearing with me yesterday. If you joined me, I was just having a rough day yesterday. And I was able to recharge and reset. I got to cut the grass yesterday afternoon after fighting storms all week long. Yesterday we got a break, and I took that to reset and just focus on consuming some more positive influence, a couple podcasts, and enjoyed a little bit of a workout that I get from cutting the grass. And then I got to recharge and get some extra rest last night. And then I'll tell you, my mind was just wouldn't stop last night. So I didn't get to bed as early or get to sleep and get as much rest as I would have liked. But I am doing so much better today. Struggling to get the boy to study for SATs. That's how you're doing today, huh, Will? Yeah. Well, I think today's topic aligns with that statement pretty well. And I actually have some blended topics today. Just some things that have been on my mind. Of course, that's really all I do is share what's on my mind here, right? I try to do some preparation to be a bit more, I don't know, present for you folks, you friends, my friends, the people I love, the people who have chosen to come here for whatever reason you're here and support me. Thank you, Jamie. Good morning, by the way. And thank you for saying you're glad I'm better today. I hope that you're feeling better also, Jamie. I know that earlier in the week you were still recovering from not feeling well, so I hope that you are. Look, are you walking in your unique calling or living out the expectations of others? That's what I want to know. And then a separate but same question, has your education pigeonholed you? And here's where I think it relates, Will. Our society will tell you that the more educated you are, the more opportunity you have. And to some extent, it might be true that more formal education may lead to more affluence. It may lead to the ability to purchase more stuff. But do you think that having more education rather narrows your choices versus broadening them? I'm glad to hear you're doing much better today, Jamie. So I started this journey with you, sharing about the path that I'm on, right? And what's led to my own self-discoveries, the things that caused me to stop and say, what the hell am I doing? And I've made some changes as a direct result, and I've seen those changes, those actions that influence and impact producing fruit. It may not be a lot of fruit, but it's certainly fruit that I wasn't seeing before. The more I reflect, the more I realize that this is the point of what I wanted to share all along. We don't have to feel trapped. In conversation after conversation with people, I see more and more, especially right now, people looking back at their lives and wondering, how in the hell did I get here? Many of them went to school or chose their profession early in life, in a season where they were still dreaming, but society and other people dictated that they should grow up become responsible, get a good job, get the house with the picket fence. You already know the story. But what if that's not true for you? What if that's not it for you? How do you find your truth, your passion, and pursue it with purpose? Create a profit and build the life that you want, the life you're going to be happy with. Just because you went to law school doesn't mean that you have to be a lawyer when you discover that you just really want to drive trucks. Right? Happiness is about more than creating more income. We've talked about the different components of your life that all fit together like a puzzle. And for some of us, we're missing some puzzle pieces. I know I am. I can tell you my personal life right now is just a mess. And that's just me being real with you, because I promise to be authentic. I promise to be honest. I come from a place of integrity, right? And not everything is, all glamorous. And the things I want, the things I would like, the way I would like things to be, they're not all in place. But the more work I do on me, the more of those things start falling into place. That's what I've seen. See, here's going back to my point. Most of us let others influence our choices. And at some point, we believed in what they were teaching us. We believed that the best way to build the life we want is to do the things they encourage us to do. And most of us for most of us, that looked like either proving them wrong or pursuing their vision of what life is. Hear that again. We were either in a position where we were proving somebody wrong or pursuing their vision of what life is. And I'll tell you, for me, I joined the military because people told me I would never make it. I couldn't respond to the authority in the military. They told me I couldn't do it. So I was out to prove them wrong. I wasn't living for me. I wasn't living other people's choices necessarily, but I was proving them wrong. And I did. And it cost me a bunch. I'm not discrediting the things that I can take away from my career in the military. One of the best experiences of my life. But I'm also not going to stand here and tell you that it didn't cost me. Or sit here and tell you, whatever the case may be. But I think that's most of us, right? It's either proving somebody wrong, or we're in a position where most of us are pursuing other people's vision. Look, anybody watch the Dreamer documentary? Here I am raising my hand like I'm in class, right? Anybody else watch the Dreamer documentary last night or this week? They had a special release going on depending on the dates and times you chose. I shared it on my personal feed. I'm not sure if I put it in the group or not. Let me see. I'm going to go to the comments and then I'll come back to my notes. So Will says, let's see, here we go. Interesting line of thought. Thank you. I think it's interesting. That's why I'm talking about it. Not to be too much of a smart aleck. And then Jamie says she doesn't feel like her education has pigeonholed her, but she guesses she's never felt that way. And yeah, I can understand that. There are a lot of people that I think feel like their education may have pigeonholed them and they're stuck in the way that they've gone. And the truth is that doesn't have to be the case. That's my point there. And then Will says, in this case, he wants to be in the NFL, so college at this point is a must. Yeah, so I heard an interesting statement about that from the man that created the robot games all over the world, in the Dreamer documentary, actually. And he was talking about, well, he talked about a few things that really drove home with me Um, ADHD is an example. I think I was before the time of diagnosing ADHD, but there's children right now who felt just like I felt, and I didn't know what that meant until much later. But I was bored because I learned quickly, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. These are lessons I've learned over time from listening to the people who I trust in, right? I learned very quickly, and so the concepts and things being taught in school were I don't know how to say this best. I don't want to say they were beneath me, but I learned them so fast, or they didn't sink in because it didn't make sense in the way the rest of the world was. And I wanted to know more, and they weren't teaching us more, right? I would have been classified as ADHD because I was bored. I fell out of the different programming that school offered. And here's the point he made, though, that just made me think for a minute. He's like, George Washington was born in whatever year. And 45 minutes later, we were learning about theory of relativity. How do those things interconnect? What is the purpose of history in school? You know, as a coach, I've been a coach financial. I did financial coaching. And as a coach, one of the things we learned is that coaches focus on how we can help you move the ball down the field. How do we help you move forward in whatever it is that you're doing? And counselors look at your past. And so what's the difference between that and teaching people history? We're spending way too much time. Now, I'm not discrediting history. I actually enjoy history. The older I get, the more I enjoy it for some reason. But what's the purpose of teaching it as part of a curriculum that everybody is mandated to have? I don't understand that. So anyway, I got way off track, but I would have been classified as ADHD. And anyway, back to the statement I was going to share with you, Will, is that he shared that people who want to become professional basketball players, professional football players, whatever professional sports athletics they want to do, in the same amount of time that it takes to achieve that goal, they could have become a doctor or a lawyer or something else that is going to be profitable and allow them to change the world. You know, if you want to be a doctor and you want to change the world, you want to impact people's lives, that's a great way to do it. I'm not discrediting that line of formal education by any means, right? That is just one thing to think about. And the chances of most people pursuing those dreams, first of all, I absolutely encourage people pursuing their dreams. Don't take this wrong. And I think you know that by now. But I also have to consider, what are the other doors that I'm closing if I continue to focus all of my efforts in this one thing that gives me a 1 in 10,000 chance of actually becoming that thing? Just something to think about. Jamie, well, let me go back to this comment. What do you have to say here? I have a few different passions, I guess, but can't say that my life today is bad. It's better than I thought it would be in some aspects, and of course, lacking in others. I know the feeling. I wanted a groovy job and finally got one. Oh, a gubby job, excuse me. I'm able to take care of my kiddo and me as a single mom. Super proud of you. Is this the job I'm going to do forever? Probably not. Maybe being content is okay for now. Hey, you know, if you're happy where you are, absolutely. I'm just here to encourage people. Well, no, I'm not just here. I'm here to encourage you to continue to uncover your dreams and to start living for you. That's the whole truth here. And then, well, yes, I get it. ADHD. I think that's where I would have been. And today we're medicating those same children instead of helping them uncover their truths and pursue their dreams, pursue their passions. One woman's passion allowed her to be an astronaut in a civil setting, not a government setting, right? Woman with no arms was the first pilot certified with no arms. Now, the Guinness Book of World Records characterizes her as a female. We're not sure why, but she mentioned that, and it's interesting. And Jamie, I'll see if I can find out if it's still available to sign up for or not. And thank you. I heart you as well, Jamie. That's cute. All right, so here's the truth, right? We can't continue to live out the expectations of other people. We can't continue to encourage our children to live out our expectations or the expectations of other people. We should, rather, encourage them to pursue their dreams, their passions, uncover their true talents and abilities, and pursue that with all of their energy, all of their might, and everything we can give them to do it. A friend of mine, Pete Evick, is a musician, professional musician. Of course, they're not touring right now, but still an actively touring professional. And he wouldn't be there if his mother hadn't said, if his mother had said, no, you need to give that up. It's never going to do anything for you. You need to go to school, get a good education, get a good job. Never would have been able to live out his dream. Instead, his mother put all of her energy into helping him discover that talent and pursue it with all of his passion. That's the difference we need to be making in our children's lives at the very least. But I think we can do that in our lives as well. All it takes is to discover our truths, pursue our dreams. It takes action. And this is what I've been saying all along, the choice to take action. So in the documentary, I'll go back to that for a second. There were two teens. They were in high school, and I think now they're in their 20s, but they founded an organization that would change the world in high school. Look it up. It's the WE movement, W-E movement. Started when a teenager read a clip in the newspaper that made him angry. It was an article about child labor, slavery, and how one young man lost his life standing up against the wrong in the world around him. He stood up against the treatment he was receiving as an underpaid worker in a factory who was beaten, who was marked, whatever they do. This young man lost his life standing up against those things. And this article pissed this guy off. He so bad that he cut it out of the newspaper and he took it to school with him. And he said, I don't know what we're going to do about this, but I would like your help. He knew that he wanted to stand up against the wrong he saw in the world, the systematic injustice around him. And he knew the only way to change that was to take action. He didn't know what that action looked like, but he knew he wanted to do something. One friend stood up and said, I'll help you for a couple weeks. Now, many years later, however many it is, they're building schools all over the world. They're building infrastructure to support local economies, and they're providing clean water, sustainable systems to continually provide clean water in areas that didn't have it before, didn't have schools, were fraught with slavery, child labor. All because one boy stood up and said, I don't know what I'm going to do about this, but I need to do something and I want your help. Oprah, at some point, so you may have heard the story of WE movement before, but Oprah brought out a check to donate one school, to build one school with these boys, because she was just impressed at how young they were and what they were doing and what they were achieving. And she looked at the number on the check and she's like, is that how much it costs to build a school? And their story says, she stepped back and said, I'm Oprah. We're going to build 100 schools. How cool, right? Now they're doing it all over the world. It's amazing. All because they chose to pursue their dreams and decided that they wanted to make an impact. All right, it may be a separate topic. Let's talk about all the wrong in the world today. All the wrong in the world around us right now, today. And I'll tell you, it makes me angry. Just like that young man, I'm angry. But I have no idea what to do about it. Here's what I know. I can teach people who want it a better way to find and pursue work that's purposeful, meaningful, and profitable if they want it. I can speak on topics of dignity and respect for other people. And I can enable small marketing teams to be more successful with my experience and skills in technology and problem solving. So my message today at the end is, here's what I'm saying. I don't know what the answers are. I don't know what to do to make an impact in the world, but will you help me? What problem do you see that just makes you angry? What can we together do about it? That's my question. I know I started with a completely different topic, but that's my question. I don't know, Jamie. Let's figure it out. Where do we start? I saw a post today on Facebook that asked, how can we prevent orphans from living in any city in the world? I don't know the answer. And I'm not clear that that was the exact way he worded it, but basically, how do we eliminate the problem of orphans being orphaned and cities full of them? The discussion quickly went to the church, but I'm not sure that that's the right answer either. So I'm reading, listening. What do you have to say? Are the comments just lagging? Which issue is that, Will? It is a huge issue in a lot of places. Changing the world is a huge issue. But here's what I can tell you. I mentioned it the other day. Leadership is about influence, and you, my friend, have influence. It doesn't matter if you're the new person on the job. It doesn't matter if you're supposed to set some sort of example. Again, living up to others' expectations, not your own. It doesn't matter if you have one friend or 10. It doesn't matter if you're government, civilian, or contractor. It doesn't matter if you're active duty military or retired. You have influence. What you choose to do with it is a different story. But you have influence, which makes you a leader. We talked about that the other day. You are a leader because you have influence. You have the ability to make an impact, whether it starts right in your own house or your circle, or you go bigger. It doesn't matter. You are a leader. You have influence. You can change the world. We can make an impact. And together, think about the things that we might be able to accomplish. So I'll ask you again, think about this. What problem do you see in the world that just makes you angry right now? And what are we going to do about it? And Will was talking about the orphans. Yes, I agree. It is a huge problem all over the world, in a lot of places. And Jamie says, for me, I think individual kindness is one good way to combat evil in the world. It sounds stupid, but I do believe that being kind to everyone leads to a better world. No, I absolutely agree, Jamie. Let's just play that for a second. What if we created a movement that promoted being kind to others. I'm sure there's others out there, but would it hurt? Trafficking. Okay. Jamie says one problem she sees that makes her absolutely angry is trafficking. I agree. I have a friend here in Norfolk, just next door to me, and she has a nonprofit organization helping people recover from trafficking. I'm sure that's not how she describes it, but Tiffany McGee, I think is her name. Wonderful person, wonderful organization. She's doing the best she can in her little small circle. I don't know what the answer is, Jamie. I told you from the beginning, I don't know what the solutions are. I don't know what the answers are, but I'm willing to take some sort of action to start impacting change, because I'm tired of seeing the hatefulness. I'm tired of seeing the hurt. I'm tired of seeing the media focusing on the things that they focus on. I'm tired of our politicians and the stupidity that they have created. Now, I'm not calling them stupid. Many of them are very smart. Ignorant, maybe, but not stupid. I think they're ignorant to the real issues that we are faced with as a people, as a country, as states, as cities, as counties. And I think they choose to be ignorant. That's the problem. Human trafficking and the sex trade is absolutely repulsive. How do I change it? Not without castration and sterilization in all areas of the world for those that enable it and others that exploit it. I don't know that that's the right answer either, but I don't disagree with you. I see the level of agitation it creates when I see comments like that, right? And from that perspective, I certainly don't disagree. I don't know that, I don't know. I don't have an answer. Let me think about it. If we want to change the world, where do we start? Can we start with human trafficking and the sex trade? I think we could. What do you want to do? You want to help? This is like a talk show, huh? Except I can't hear you. We got to figure something out. Oh, I like the new profile picture, Jamie. Yeah, you're tired of the politics too, but unfortunately the American people are the greatest contributors on electing the familiar or the lesser of the two evils. And when there's a lack of available candidates, that creates an issue. Oh, well, I think you present a good point. What can we do about that? I think the options are produce better candidates or convince the American people to stop allowing them to do the things that are most suitable for them as individuals, as politicians, than what they should be doing, which is what the people ask them to do. Tim Ballard, and Ashton Kutcher. I like Ashton Kutcher, by the way. Anybody ever watch the show The Ranch? I mean, I love that. I was so sad that they didn't continue it. But their organizations could be good places to start on human trafficking. Yeah, I've heard Ashton Kutcher, at least, is doing some great things. I'll have to look up what Tim Ballard's involved in. I'm going to look right now. Anyway, that's my challenge for you today, right? Let's talk about Operation Underground Railroad. Let's talk about the problems in the world around us. And I don't know, if you have the fight left in you, You're angry enough. You desire to do something. Let's figure out what we can do. What problem we can start pursuing. How can we tackle that or start? And here's the thing, I told you before, we don't know what's on the other side of action until we take action to do it. So maybe it doesn't go anywhere. There's two choices. Simon Sinek, my friend Simon Sinek sent me an email this morning. It wasn't to me personally, I'm sure. But it said there are two choices that people make in the world. Hold on, let me find it. So there are two types of decisions: good decisions and lessons learned. And I'll leave that question floating for you, but I think that's where I'm going to close out today. What can we do, and will you help me? Jamie says, create limitations on terms, for one. No, I agree. And although yeah, I agree. I'm not going to, no offense, I'm not going to continue on the political discussion, because then I'll really get upset. And I don't want to spend that much time here. I mean, I don't mind spending that much time here with you, but I certainly don't want to spend that much time thinking about all the bad around us. That's for sure. Right now, anyway. You come back to me and tell me what problem you think you'd like to tackle with me, and I'll spend all the time in the world working to make an impact. Because that's how I feel today. I feel like I need to do something about one of these problems. There's just so many to choose from. All right. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave you today. I appreciate your time as always. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I'll call you out by name, but join my text community if you'd like. 757-210-4418. Text the word friend. Anyway, I hope that you all have a wonderful Wednesday. Is today Thursday or Wednesday? I don't even know. I think it's Thursday. Let's see. Yeah, it's Thursday. Yep. So have a wonderful Thursday. And as always, I'll be back here tomorrow. But go back to the Facebook community if you want, or send me a message, send me an email, send me a text, and let me know what you land on. What problem do you see that people should be addressing? And do you want to help me? All right. Hey, I love y'all. Not in a weird way. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.